Hello everyone, my name is Aisha Jallo. I go by Aisha Scrum in all social media platforms. I am an agile coach. I have successfully helped companies and businesses to transition from waterfall to agile. Prior to that, I worked as a Scrum Master in different kind of company. I am coming to you all here on YouTube, starting this new page to assist people in their agile journey and talk about different interview tips and ways we all can succeed in this agile journey. So, I know for some of you that do not know, I am a mentor, a coach, and a trainer. And if you have any question, you need any help, just always contact me at Aisha Scrum. And please subscribe to my new YouTube video and this YouTube platform that I'm starting. So, before I continue to describe and let's talk about today's topic. Recently, I've been contacted multiple times about interview questions. So I have people reaching out to me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and asking Aisha, oh, could you please help me? I've been struggling in interviews. I go in, sometimes I don't get called back, and sometimes it's just so difficult for me to speak in front of people. So what are ways can I do to help? So that's a big question, right? So I always will ask people, tell me about yourself. Let's start with the basic, right? So as simple as that sound, tell me about yourself. It sounds so simple. And people start talking about everything else but what's actually in their resume. So that's why I'm doing today's video, to focus on answering the interview question, tell me about yourself. And tell me about yourself is popularly known as elevator pitch, right? So anywhere you go in an interview, there's research already show that 2 to 5 minutes in your interview, the interviewer can already tell if they truly want you for this position, right? So that's why it's extremely important to sell yourself. So what are ways we can do to use that first 5 minutes to sell ourselves in interview? Is for you to be able to answer the question, tell me about yourself. So I'm going to be further describing ways you can use this and what are tips you can use to help you understand how to answer the famous question about tell me about yourself. So I use these 5 techniques whereby, and I think anyone, it doesn't matter if you are working as a Scrum Master, you want to go in working as an agile coach, or you're a developer, any kind of field in anywhere, you always would like to use that first 2 to 5 minutes to tell the interviewer about yourself. And this technique that I'm going to be listing is going to be used in all area of interviews that you go, different kind of career aspect. But I'm going to be focusing mine on Scrum Master, because my goal is to reach out to potential Scrum Masters and aspiring Scrum Masters. So I'm going to be basing this technique on answering tell me about yourself if you are going for a Scrum interview or an Agile coach interview. So I'm going to describe the 5 steps, or one of them meaning that, so you look at your resume, right? So what you have in your resume should definitely reflect on what you're actually saying. That's one tip. Another tip to focus to is to ensure that you not only take your time to also practice this. I know, right? It sounds weird that I really have to go practice on saying, tell me about myself. Oh, I should know that off of head. Yes, you should practice, because there's no such thing as knowing it all, right? Practicing and going there. So the first thing I will always do in Scrum Master, what I would train my mentees and also train my potential students, is letting them know by saying that the first thing you do is to talk about where you currently work. Where you currently work, and give a brief description about the project you are working on. So that's one. Number 2, list the previous companies you've worked for. List those places you've worked for. And the number 3 is talk about a measurable achievement you've done. A measurable, right? I said measurable because it's very important to also add numbers in your elevator pitch. And the 4th, why are you applying? Why are you applying for this position? What happened? So it's good to also include that in your elevator pitch. And the 5th one is, what are you looking for in our company? Meaning the potential employer you're trying to get into. Why are you applying to that company? If you can summarize all these 5 key points and you add all these key points to your elevator pitch, there's no way you can sell in your first 2 minutes. So let me further describe these 5 things, right? What I mean by all of this. So the first one describing tell telling them about where you currently work and the projects. So like for example, you can say, oh, I currently work at company X and Y, and we are currently working in this project where, and you talk about what you do. Brief description about the project. Who are you doing this project for? Do you have internal or external customers? And why are you doing that project? Just summary about that. And what I mean by listing your previous company. So sometimes I see people make that mistake of not only describing the current company, what they do, they start describing what happened in their previous company. It's nice that you still know everything that happened in your previous company, but the most important, if they're going to ask questions, they're going to rely it on what you currently do. So your previous company is very important. You just list those items, list those places you've worked for. If they would like to know more, they can ask a follow-up question regarding that. So I always will just list what happened, because why? We also want to save time, right? We have 2 minutes. The goal is to have between 2 to 3 minutes where you talk about this information without going 10 minutes or 20 minutes just explaining just about yourself. And that's not realistic. And the third thing about measurable goal, right? So in my case, in working in the agile, like, oh, after joining my company within 3 months, we're able to deliver from 40% to 60%. Oh, after joining this company, our velocity improved from 10 story points to like 20 story points. So those are what I meant by measurable achievements. So you have to add those numbers to make it look good. And why are you applying? You can say, oh, I had an issue or I have a problem in the company. You don't want to be that way too, right? So you have to say the reason why you're applying. And most of the time it's something that you are familiar with. Oh, I am actually looking for more challenge. I already grow in my current company, so I'm looking for a new place to grow. That's a reason to apply. Because sometimes you could join a company that has different challenges, and now you're in the position, you also want to grow as a person. And company will respect that. So that can be a reason why you're applying, but at least summarize why you're applying. And also the last one, talk about the company. Do your research. What research have you done for this particular company you wanna go into? What did you learn so far about this company? What did you do? Or what do you know? Do you know about their vision, their mission? Did you learn about their diversity and inclusion? Or what do you like about this company you're trying to go into? So it's very important to summarize it. And those are the 5 techniques I've used, and I still coach students and I coach mentees to use. And let me tell you this have always worked. So hopefully you all can learn 1 or 2 things out of this. And I'll go by and just summarize my elevator pitch. So hopefully this can help other people that's going through interviews right now. I would say, like, for example, in my case, I'll be like, oh, I'm glad to be here today. I'm glad you gave me this opportunity. Be humble, very important. This agile space, sometimes we're not only looking for people that know it all, but also people that are willing and be able to work with people. It's very, very crucial, because you go into your teams, you're meeting people that are already established sometimes too they are not, right? So you have to learn to do things slowly. And at the same time, your personality, your non-verbal cue all also play into all of this. So in this case, I'll give my quick elevator pitch. And the goal is, don't be too long, right? Before I even start talking about mine, don't go too long and give in 10 minutes elevator pitch or 20 minutes elevator pitch. Then the interviewer will be like, okay, now I'm done. So be very cautious, be very mindful with the time. Typical good elevator pitch shouldn't be more than 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes is even perfect. You don't want to go beyond that, because then people will be like, okay, you're going too much. So let me do a quick summary about how I can summarize all these 5 key points that I just mentioned. I will say, oh, thank you for this opportunity. I'm glad to be here today. My name is Aisha. I currently work at company so and so. I have successfully helped the company and business to adopt different kind of agile way of doing things. Based on our complexity of our projects, we have done Kanban, we have done Scrum. These have led to quality delivery for value in our customers and our end users. In the past, I've worked at company A and company B and company C. And currently, I'm looking for a new opportunity, because my team is already matured. I feel like I'll use this opportunity to adopt and learn my skill set and grow. And after learning about your company's cultural mindset, then about your diversity and inclusion, I think this will be a perfect opportunity for this job. And it will be a privilege to work for your company, and I will excel at this role. And I'm glad to be here today. Simple as that. You just summarize your elevator pitch, you captivate the interviewer so that you already answer most of their questions too, I'm sure, by the way, because sometimes company will ask you, oh, why are you joining? Why are you leaving? Or what did you do? So that elevator pitch alone, you already answer most of those questions. So that's why it's very, very important to always start with your elevator pitch. So, okay, let's talk about common mistake that sometimes we do, right? So maybe I'll leave that for the next video. I'll leave this for the next video. I'm going to address what are the common mistakes we do when we go to interview, and I'll answer that. Please subscribe to my new YouTube channel. If you have any questions, you are struggling in your interviews, or you're going through stages of interviews, you don't know how to go about this all, contact me on Aisha Scrum on all social media platforms. And you can also comment down below what topics you would like me to talk about, or any interview tips, or any question you're struggling in interview you want me to address on the next video. You can also comment it down below. And please subscribe to my new YouTube channel. And to be honest, I'm sure you all know I'm learning this way of doing things. Hopefully you all can recommend your way I can adjust and learn, because I'm very open to learn, because I believe you have to continue learning and grow in this field. So thank you all, and see you again next week. Thank you. Bye.